Hi, it's Steffi's Beads and Baubles. I'm trying to stay in the light here. I've got a big open window in front of me. I've got lights everywhere, but I still just have a little pocket of light, so I'm going to try to stay in the light. These are the bunnies I did last year. I did a white chocolate, a chocolate, and then I guess a strawberry or just a pink. And I'm doing a small version of this little chocolate one, and that's this little cookie cutter here. And I stamped out the little bunny with silver stamp pad, and I cut them out. I had 2 of them. I got 2 more here, and I cut them out, and then I already had a boo-boo, so I'm starting over. I went up through the felt where the eye was going to go, and then I went back down through the felt, and then I'm going back up through. And the reason I do it this way is because it secures the knot on felt, because felt is very porous, and sometimes a knot will pull through. So I highly recommend when working with felt, every time you knot it, you go up, go back down, leaving a little piece of, you can see just a little thread on top, and go back down. Now I'm using an 8/0 or E bead for the eye, which is the same thing I did on the chocolate bunny, except this was an opaque and I'm doing a more pearly one on this one. And there's the little eye. And then I'm going to tie that off, and the way I tie off is I go in a loop, and I just loop it a few times one direction. Very simple. And then I go a different direction, loop it a couple times that way, and go through one final time and tie it off. I have never had one unravel. If it makes you feel better, you can touch a little glue to it, but I've never done it, and I've never had one loosen up. Okay, so there's a little eye, and I won't put the bow on till I'm done. I'll leave a little spot, like I won't put a sequin where I want the bow to go, and then I'll either put a sequin under it. I'm trying to remember what I did with this one. This was a big bow. This one's smaller, so I'm not sure if I'll go ahead and put a pink sequin under it. I might. So I'll leave one little spot where I want the bow to go, and that'll be the last sequin I put on. And then I'll put the bow on, and I put a little tiny flower over it, like I did on this one. I don't know if you can see that well. And then a little seed bead. So I'll be back. I'm going to do the same thing. Well, I'll show you how I start. I tie a knot, which I'm not going to make you watch me tie the knot. Tie a knot in the thread, and you're going to end up having 2 videos dropped today because I had one scheduled, and I really did plan on having this bunny done earlier in the week. I don't know what happened. The week kind of got away from me, and I just never got him started, but I promised you I'd get him done, so I'm going to get him done. I still want to try to do the Easter egg too. But anyway, then I'm going to pick a place, and usually when I put an eye on, I like to start and go around the eye. So I'll start right next to the eye, and again, I'll come up to the thread. I'll go back down, leaving just a little tiny piece of thread on the top. You've got to remember, no one will see it because sequins will be over it. Then I'll come back out, and I'm going to add my first sequin. And like I tell you every video, I put it cup down because I like cup sequins. You can use flat sequins, but my preference is the cup. And I put it upside down, and I go through the back of it. Whoop, I'm not doing very good today. Let's see if I can get it on the table. I go through the back of the sequin, and then I pick up a bead. And then that way, when I pull it down, it'll be cup side up on my piece. Now, some people like to use the cup side down. Like I always tell you, there's no right or wrong. It's personal preference. My personal preference is cup up. I like the facets, and sometimes the backs. Now these, I don't like to use the back of these because they kind of got a white line on the back between the facets. On the front, you just see pure reflection. So that's my personal preference. But you have to do what works best for you. So I come back up. Again, find one. If I have to flip it over, I flip it over, go through the back. and then I add a seed bead. And remember, you do not go back through the seed bead, because the point of putting the seed bead on is to hold the sequin on. So you go through the sequin, go through the sequin, and then that seed bead holds it on. And I try to go as close as I can to the one before it. I like to touch the sides. So in other words, when I put the next sequin on, I try to get the side of it to touch the thread, if I can, of the one before it. So let me pull it down. So I will take my needle and I will push it over and get it as close as I can. So I'm going to come back when this little guy is completely covered in sequins and show putting the ribbon on. So I will be back in a bit. Okay, I got him completely sequined and seed beaded, and then I decided not to leave a spot on there. I just strung the bow on with a fresh piece of thread. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to string on a little flower here, again upside down, and then I have one clear bead. And then I'm going to string them on over the flower. And then do the same thing with the ribbon as I did with the sequins. Go through the sequin only, then the ribbon, and then make my way down between the sequins, which you're going to have to probably pull it through and look and see where that thread's coming through. See where that thread, find where you came up through, and then go back through there like that. And then just pull it, and that secures your bow. And you can put your bow wherever you want, or not put a bow at all. So I'm going to tie that on the back like I showed you before, and tie a good knot, or go around and around a few times. I'll be right back to show you. I've got him finished on the front, and I've sewn the back on, which, as you can see, very simple. I started from the back, went around, up to the middle, around, up to the middle, around. Then I went underneath the felt, on the other side of the felt, to the next hole, did the same thing, and it doesn't take too many stitches. Hold on, let me get it right under there. It doesn't take that many stitches to hold that on securely, but of course you can do it as heavy or as light as you want. I put a little bit of cotton inside to stiffen the pin and give it a little bit of cushion and a little bit of stability. Just a little fluff in his ear, a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit, you can see. Just a tiny bit. And then to do the edging, let me get everything together here. Bring some seed beads over. I'm going to get it started, then I'll come back and show you how to end it. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come up. I've knotted it on the end. I'm going to come up in the, wherever, you can start wherever, there's no big deal where you start. I'm going to come up to the middle, and I'm going to come up pretty far inside. Let me get this light right on there so that you can see. Alright, and I'm going to come up. Make sure you come up between the sequins, not through. If you come up through the middle of a sequin, right here, and you go out, you'll leave a thread on the top. Now, I'm going to go back to the back and come back out around the same spot. So basically I'm going to loop the two pieces of felt together. See? I'm just looping the two pieces of felt together. Once I get the two, I pull it tight. I add 3 seed beads. Now you want to get seed beads that are pretty uniform. These are not bad. And you put 3 on there, and you're going to go back through it pretty close to the original stitch. Like that. Whoop. It'll catch. Okay. Do I have a knot? What is going on? Oh, look at that. I have a knot in my thread. Do I? Wait, hold on. Oh no. See, I have a little tiny knot in my thread. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just thick enough that it pulled through. Alright, now once you get that done, and you can see this is the direction I'm going, is this way. In other words, I'm going this way. So I put the thread in. I started here, and I moved over to here when I went back through. So I'm going to take that last bead and go back up through it. It'll only be a couple stitches and I'll be past that knot. Okay, what is going on? This has been one of those kind of days that I'm just seeming to get in my way no matter what I do. Okay, hold on. I always leave these mistakes in so you can learn from them. I don't know what happened. I'm going to go back through and see if I can fix it. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happened. Do I have 3 seed beads on there? Look at that. There's only 2. I thought I put 3. So this is a great idea because then I can show a great thing. I can show you when you make a mistake. So all you do, okay, I only put 2 instead of 3. Just pull your thread back out and re-put the needle through, or put it through the needles, which I'm doing off camera because I can't see it if I'm not right up on top of it. Okay, that just took a second. Now I'm going to add the 3rd bead. I guess I didn't pick it up when I thought I did. So make sure you have the 3 beads, okay? So there, I have 3 beads. Then I'm moving this direction. I'm following his back. So I'm going to go back through pretty close, but about a bead's worth away. Okay? And I'm going to pull another time and let those 3 kind of line up. And then the one closest to the direction I'm going, I'm going to go back up through. Like this. And it's going to make a little triangle. This is the front. This is the back. Now once you have that first little triangle done, you only need 2 beads. So you're going to add 2 beads to your needle and do the same thing, okay? You're going to go back like a bead away, go back through from the back. Doesn't matter where you go in the front, you just use more thread if you go too far down. And then see, it makes another triangle with just 2 beads. And you're going to keep doing that. I'll do one more to show you, and then I'm breaking away and going to finish this and come back to show you, okay? So I'm going to do one more, 2 beads. I'm going to go back through the back, and I make sure I come up between the sequins. Let's see, come up through the between the sequins. I'm going to push it up with my finger, and I'm going to go through the last sequin on the thread there, the one closest to the direction that I'm going. And then I'm going to pull it, and that's going to make another triangle. Now I'll be back when I'm done, when I get down to the last stitch, I'll come back and show you how to finish it off. Well, here's another good teaching moment. I didn't line it up. So if you look, he's not lined up. I thought I lined him up, but I did not check on the back. So now I've got to tear all this out and start over. So there's another lesson I'm teaching you. Make sure when you start it that you make absolutely sure. I didn't have his little tail matched up with his little tail. I lined the curve of the back up, but it was wrong. So I have to tear all this out and start over. So that's one thing I forgot to say, or do apparently, and I'm hoping it's showing up on camera. But you can see how the felt is peeking out past the beadwork. Make sure you're absolutely positive it's matched up, or you'll have to tear it out. So I'm going to tear this out and start over, but I'm not going to show you starting over. And when I get done and I'm down to almost the last stitch, I'll be back. Okay, well, I thought I was recording and I wasn't, so let me tell you how I finished it. I basically came up to the very first stitch I made. In other words, I had two bottoms next to each other with the triangle bead on top, right? So I'd put one, and then I'd gone through the other 2 and came back up, which left 2 flats with a bead on top. So when I came to the end, I had the last bead I added and the first bead I added, but no triangle in between. So I came out of that last bead. That last bead had the thread through it because I'd come up through that last bead. I added 1 sequin and went back through the first bead. I don't know what happened. I wasn't recording. I didn't know until it shut itself off. But anyway, there's the finished little guy, and he's supposed to look like a chocolate bunny. And because somebody might want to make him, I'm going to take a picture of him. I'm going to take a picture of the cookie cutter and the felt I cut out. I'll cut out the other 2 shapes. I'll put them on my mat, and I will take a picture and put it on my blog. That way, if you want to draw him, you have a reference. He's extremely simple, no real back legs. It's just kind of a circle, little indent for the tail, a curved, a little ear, little nose, a little foot. So he's very basic and easy. Anyway, I'm going to get working on the egg next and see if I can get that one up tomorrow. And I'm sorry this is late. It's just been one of those weeks. And today's been one of those days. I've had to restart this like 3 or 4 times today. But I couldn't recreate that because I'd already tied it off, so I just had to explain. But I have so many videos that show how I finished this off. So if you look at my basic ornament tutorial, which is somewhere down on my playlist, or on my list of videos, you can find that. And most of my earlier ornament videos will also show you how to do that. But anyway, here you go. And I will be back soon. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. And I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe. And I will be back soon. Thank you.